ॐ त्र्यम्बकं यजामहे सुगन्धिं पुष्टिवर्धनम् उर्वारुकमिव बन्धनान् मृत्योर्मुक्षीयमामृतात् ॐ त्र्यम्बकं यजामहे सुगन्धिं पुष्टिवर्धनम् उर्वारुकमिव बन्धनान् मृत्योर्मुक्षीयमामृतात् ॐ त्र्यम्बकं यजामहे सुगन्धिं पुष्टिवर्धनम् उर्वारुकमिव बन्धनान् मृत्योर्मुक्षीयमामृतात्.
So welcome friends to another episode of Mritunjaya. As you all know, you've been watching it. It's a series on death and dying where people discuss about death of their loved ones and what exactly they went through. And today we have Leena Prabhoo, who herself is a practicing psychologist and a wonderful person. So Leena is with us here, and Leena, thank you first of all for being our guest.
Thank you, ma'am. Thank you for the opportunity to share my story.
And let's tell us something about yourself and about why is it that death fascinated you, or death made you fearful, or death made you feel threatened, or there are so many emotions, right, Leena, when we
Yes.
think about death, and especially if it's about a loved one. So Leena, tell us something, your insights and how this journey began for you.
Yes, ma'am. Uh, to tell you frankly, I would never attend anybody else's funeral because it would really throw me back by many days, and I would be in that same, sad phase for a long time. And then at one point, I decided that I will not go for anybody's funeral, which is selfish of me. I understand, but then I said, when it is my turn, if I have to go to anybody's funeral, then I need to save myself or save those emotions for whoever has passed away from my family. And in my article, one of my articles, I had written a note about death and dying, that how the physical body is like a machine, and the engine in it is the soul, or the electric current in it is the soul. And when the electric current moves out of the machine, then the machine stops. So similarly, it's the soul in the human body, which gives it the life, and which, because of which we do all these things that we do. And once the soul moves out of the body, then the body is just a machine which lays back.
True.
Uh, so that was my intellectual, logical thinking from this plane, if you know what I mean.
Yes.
The real meaning of what I had written years ago was, I could experience it when my father was critically ill about 4.5 years ago. And the thought never came to me that he is going to die. That sentence did not form in my head that he is going to die, because he had fought and overcome so many battles. I thought this is also something that he is going to overcome, and we are just going to be in the hospital for some time, and then we are going to move out, and life is going to be back to normal. And while he was in the hospital, I stayed with him. And being in a hospital for so many months is a very fearful or a very traumatic experience. But I said that this is the time that my father needs me. And in my entire life, I don't remember even a single moment that I had needed my dad and he was not there. So it was my way of saying that he needs me now. Whatever my fears, whatever my blocks are, whatever my sentiments are, I will deal with them later on. But as long as he needs me, I'm going to be here for him. Just about that time, I met a friend of mine who, when I had met her earlier, she was a normal means the way I'm dressed, the way you are dressed. I met her after 10 years, and she was wearing a black gown. She'd shaved off her head, and she looked like a tantric. And I was like, "What is this?" I wanted to say, "What has happened to you?" But I didn't say, but I didn't say that.
Yeah.
So while I was talking, trying to find out what she was doing, so she said, "I'm a counselor," and I said, "Even I'm a counselor, but I don't dress like that. So what do you counsel about?" So she didn't explain much to me at that time, and I let it go. So turns out that she's a medium. She can speak with people, with souls from the other realm. And I had an opportunity to take her assistance a few times before that, and she made me speak with people in the other realm, and she helped me find some things. So she was in another zone, and this came to her naturally. So when my dad was on his way out, to transition into another realm, like I requested her to help me out. And the entire process means I was seeing him over here in front of me, who he was comatose, but I'm talking to him. And I know I was talking to him because of the things that we shared and the things that we said. And then he moved on, and it was a very traumatic experience for me. And when we had a prayer meeting for him, this friend of mine, she was by my side, and she said, "Your father is here, and he's saying that my wife and my daughter are holding me back, but I'm ready to go." And I was like, "Oh my God, I don't want to hold him back. I would like him to move on to his onward journey." So I said, "Go, Baba, go." And then my friend said, "Now he's gone to another realm." And as soon as he went, I was like, "Oh my God, I'm cutting off a lot of things. I'm cutting off a lot of trauma and pain, to share with you my learning, my understanding of what death and dying is all about."
Correct.
So actually, it took me over a year to get over my father's demise. So after he went to the other realm, I was like, "Oh my God, I missed out on a fantastic opportunity to understand the other realm through my dad." And since I had a medium to connect us, I wanted to know what's in the other realm. And once I told my dad to go, then I had lost that opportunity.
Okay.
I just wanted to know, like, what is happening in that world? Where is he? How is it being in the soul form? And a lot of
So many
weird.
questions. So many questions. Yeah.
Some people might think these are weird, but I did have these thoughts in my mind. Few days afterwards, my brother, mom, and I were sitting, and we were thinking of talking about opening up a research center for the ailment that Baba went through. And while we were talking, my I have my two pets, Choco and Minnie. So they have
Mhm.
that green ball, which
Okay.
if you bang down, it starts blinking.
Okay.
So that ball was lying by my feet, and it was just sitting there while we were talking, the family. And all of a sudden, without throwing, without banging, or without touching that ball, it started blinking.
Mm.
And it kept on blinking, and the three of us realized that, thought that, dad is approving of or saying something about, doing research on the ailment that he
Mm.
had, and he's giving us his approval. And it went on blinking for a long time, so much so that, I we were very hassled. So I picked up the ball and I put it in the fridge
Okay.
just to make it stop blinking, because I didn't know what to do with it.
Okay. So
And
did the ball have a switch or anything or
no,
no?
it didn't have a switch. If you just throw it down,
It
then it
starts
then
blinking.
it gets activated, and then it starts blinking.
Okay.
So without any of that, the ball started blinking. Then another instance is when, early in the morning, I woke up and I heard my dad say, in the very sweetest of tone, he said Tai.
Mm.
He used to call me Tai.
Okay.
And I just froze over there. I did not respond because, when we were children, we used to share these ghost stories.
Mm.
All our cousins used to meet and we used to share these ghost stories. And somebody had said that if a spirit calls out to you, do not respond. Otherwise, that spirit will remain in this realm forever.
Mm.
So I don't know why that thought also came to my mind, and then I didn't respond. Anyway, the learning lesson for me over here was, one is trying to overcome the loss of my father who had been with me all my life. The second is that you can communicate with the souls in the other world. And the third realization was a learning from my mother. I mean, she was, we always thought that after dad, what is going to happen to her? But she was amazing. She was, of course, she had her moments, and the family was for her at that time. But she was so strong, and she kept on working. She immersed her life in the work that dad had started, and we celebrated all the festivals, the Ganpati Puja, the other puja. We celebrated them as we used to, like when dad was there. And this went on for 4.5 years. And last year, on 7th of March, my mother, she won a women's award, an acknowledgement for all the work that she has done. And for the first time after many years, I saw her dress up and, be very happy and do her hair and makeup and all that. And at 78, this recognition that she got for all the work that she had done in her
Mm.
life.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was a telling moment for all of us, for all women. And the lockdown happened soon after. And she and my one brother were on a farmhouse, and I was here in Mumbai. And one day she said, Tai, just come here, I want you to take care of me. And she was feeling unwell, and try as much as I could. I could not free myself from whatever. I could not find a way to get to her. And then in a few days, 3, 4, 5 days maybe, she just passed away, in a blink of an eye. She just passed
Oh.
away. She transitioned. And I would say blessed are those people who transition in this manner without any ailment. She did suffer a little bit, but considering what dad went through, I mean, she's blessed. And then immediately I got in touch with my medium, the friend who's a medium,
Yeah.
and we had a conversation. And I was feeling immensely guilty about not being there for her. When she had called me, and the guilt was really killing me.
Yes.
So through the medium, through the medium, I told my mom, I apologized to her that I could not come, and she's like, you were not meant to be there, so don't worry about it. And in a jiffy, she just released me from my guilt. And I kept on saying, Mom, why did you go when I was not there? I wanted to be there. I wanted to be there. And she's like, this statement of hers I will remember for my life. She's like, the past is past, forget about it, now move on. And she's such a strong lady that she had to tell me, like, drill it in my head that past is past, forget about it and move on. So now whatever happens is like, don't dwell in the past. And she's telling me that. And then we told her that we are going to do the asti visarjan on a in the river near our farmhouse. And she was very happy about it. And she's like, do immerse my asti in one of the plants over there. So that is what we did. And ma'am, few days later, I was supposed to be initiated into telepathic communication. I have my two kids, four-legged kids, Choco and Minnie, and I wanted to communicate, learn how to communicate with them telepathically, know what's in their mind. Just a few days later, I was supposed to be initiated into telepathic communication with my Choco and Minnie, which I did get initiated, and I was able to communicate with them on the mental level. And just by doing that, an entire new world also opened up to me. And I soon realized that now I don't need the medium to help me connect with people on the other side, my parents on the other side. I'm able to connect and communicate with them directly. So so you would say that the transitioning of my parents into the other world showed me other dimensions in life. So all these years I was just working on the psychological aspect of helping people. And I developed my own technique and methodology to help people having stressful situations. So my vision, I would still say at that time my vision was tunneled, but with mom and dad in the other realm, my vision has opened up broader. And so many things started happening after that. So I could communicate so freely and so easily that it became. I thought I was like that Whoopi Goldberg from that movie Ghost.
Yeah,
I don't
I
know if you.
remember. I've seen that movie. Yeah.
I was like, oh my God, have I become like Whoopi Goldberg? And I didn't want that, so I had to learn ways to ensure that the door to the other realm is opened only when I want to open it, and not when somebody from the other realm wants to communicate with me. Because it would
Correct.
and you had also kind of cautioned me. Other healers had also cautioned about stepping into the other realms. What
Yeah,
this entire process has, entire experience, life turning experience has taught me is that there are other dimensions to life. And there is more to the world than what we can see and what we do see.
absolutely. I think, Leena, that's a wonderful thing. What your mom said has struck me beautifully, that it is the past.
Yeah.
And let it be in the past. And when people pass away, we generally talk about them. We talk about, oh, he should have done this, or she should have done that. And so many things people speak about. But I just want to say that, we don't have to judge them any longer from their past, because they don't live in the past any longer.
Right.
Because when the person passes over, he is not there. Your mom is no longer your mother, and your father is no longer your father. If you see it at the spirit level, they are no longer they're not playing those roles any longer, right? But for
Actually,
us, they continue playing that role.
yes.
So somewhere, uh, as your own growth, of course, they are moved on. But for us to move on, like you have moved on, from a very kind of cognitive space to a very spiritual space. And somewhere we also have to understand ourselves as spirits. Because now that we understood them as spirits, we have to understand ourselves as spirits also. And then the journey becomes beautiful because then the telepathic communication is between a spirit and a spirit, not between Leena and Leena's mother, or not between Leena and Leena's father. So that spirit to spirit telepathic communication is obviously completely different.
Ma'am, I'm glad I'm having this conversation with you, and this will be aired, and I will be sharing this with my family and friends because I don't know how they will interpret this change in me, and so you can share that what I'm going through or what I'm seeing or
Yes,
the transition, the variations that are happening in me
yes.
are for real and they are not just an illusion.
Not at all. It's not an illusion at all. I think what you spoke about, the ball blinking, I mean, we have had people who've been speaking about the light blinking from their phone, light blinking in the fridge, on the walls, the tube light flickering. This is a very common sign that spirits are around us. The one who's left us, the physical form, but the spirit form is still around us. Because, like you rightly said in the beginning, that what is a spirit? It's nothing but, let's say, a current of electricity, right? And that electricity current can definitely create disturbance in the system or the field that is there inside your house, because they come from a higher frequency. So the higher frequency, and then our bulb is obviously at a very low frequency. So then that kind of interferes, and that's how the flickering takes place. So these are all real, genuine things that happen, and what is happening to you, Leena, the whole telepathic communication that's going on, okay, um, is also equally real. It happens to so many people, right? So, whether people understand it or not, Leena, that's not for us. The key is that just the way this phone is real when I touch it, right? When I don't touch something, it doesn't mean it does not exist, right?
Right,
Like if
right.
I'm not drinking water, it doesn't mean that water doesn't exist.
True.
So, similarly, just because somebody is not in the physical realm does not mean that my association with that person doesn't exist. At the spirit level, it continues to exist, right? So, at the level of the Atman, which is really the individual spirit, my connection exists. At the same time, I can also relate to the universal consciousness, which is the Brahman. So there is an Atman, which is individual, related to a person, and then there's Brahman, which is the universal space. So you are, my dear, telepathically communicating not only to the Atman of your mother or father, but they are helping you to communicate to others whom you don't know physically, but they are part of the Brahman, the universal consciousness. And I think that is an amazing transition, Leena, that you have made. And I'm sure, your work has increased multifold because of this. I would say not the quantity of the work, but the quality of your work.
Yes, ma'am. Work has increased, and it is just an amazing feeling that not only I'm not able to communicate not only with my parents but even the ascended masters, my spiritual guides, and the communication is so fascinating, and they kind of guide me when I need guidance, and they help me. And even dad, I do see him in his physical form when I see both of them.
Yeah.
I do see them in their physical form, and at times I see them in their spiritual form, spirit form also.
Yeah.
So from time to time, now that the pathways have opened up, it is the communication is so easy, and it's so loud and clear in my ears that it's like as though even my Choco and Minnie, when I have to talk to them, we have a amazing conversation. So
Wow. Can you share something about that conversation, the animal telepathic conversation? Because that's something that will fascinate all of us. So, how exactly that happened?
असतो मा सद्गमय तमसो मा ज्योतिर्गमय मृत्योर्मामृतं गमय ॐ शान्ति शान्तिः